So hello and welcome back to the Sligo GAA Coaching and Games social channels. Be sure and follow us to stay up to date with all things Sligo GAA. Today we're delighted to be joined by Rose Davis to explore our leading ladies in Sligo GAA series. So welcome Rose, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Alanna. You're very welcome, and I'm glad to be here.
Good stuff. So just to start out, Rose, you're from St. Pat's, so what's your role in the club?
Okay, so I'm the new secretary of the St. Pat's Club. We had our virtual AGM there 2 weeks ago, and I'm the new secretary of the club. So that at the moment, yeah.
You've plenty other experience in different roles in the club as well, don't you, Rose?
Yeah, I suppose before this I would have been involved with the Board and Oak side of the St. Patrick's Club, and I was probably involved with them, I'd say probably 7 or 8 years perhaps, a long time. But I don't have anybody, any of the children there, none of them are Board and Oak age anymore now. And when I was there, I suppose I would have started there when, the girls, we were able to field a girls team up until they were under 12, about I think 8 or 9 years ago now. And then it became very apparent that we couldn't field a girls team anymore, and it just meant then they had to go and play with another club if they wanted to continue to play football. And our girls went back to St. Farnan's to play at the time. And it was only at that time that you realised the amount of paperwork that was involved with going from one club to another, and the amount of signatures that you had to get, and they had to be in on a deadline. And then as they got later on, there were only so many of them could play together. I think it was 4 when you go into an adult team. So I would have got involved way back then, helping out with the forms and trying to get signatures and trying to get everything in on time. So I got roped into the registration then. So I did the registration for the ladies side of the St. Pat's Club, as well as the underage up until last year. So plenty experience. Yeah, you get to know everybody anyway, which is good.
Perfect. And so why do you do what you do, I suppose? What do you seem to get out of it? Would it be job satisfaction or something different entirely, I suppose?
Yeah, I suppose I get a great buzz from it. And I suppose the reason I probably get the buzz is that, when you're driving kids to training and you're dropping them off and you're collecting them and they're all buzzed, and you see all the work that goes on in the background with all the, the committee and the paperwork and the jerseys and the funding and, all the work that goes on. And when you actually see them on a field then actually representing their club, our club, like there's huge pride to be got in that, and I think that they do it for the the pure joy of it, and the banter in the house and in the car coming home, and sometimes you'd have other kids involved, or you'd be giving them a lift and they'd be saying, "Oh, I had a terrible game," or "I had a great game," and the buzz, the buzz to get, and I mean it's not all about winning. Winning is great, and that's good as well, but it's just what we, even as parents, get back to see juveniles and kids, or even the club, even older people just playing, because you get such a sense of enjoyment and pride, I suppose, watching them, one lose or draw, but it's just that they can actually field a team and play for their own community. It's fabulous, yeah.
Yeah, it makes everything worthwhile when you actually see it unfold on the pitch.
You too.
Yeah, in terms of encouraging more women into these positions in the GAA, what do you think kind of contributes to the disparity in that, and what would you say is the best way to continue the change?
Yeah, I think there is a disparity, but I think the disparity is getting a little smaller as the years go on. And I think that sometimes you just have to encourage more women to get involved. Sometimes they may not want to get involved for various reasons, but I think that if you encourage them, come along and just do a little bit, it's no more than me when I started back, just help out with the farms to begin with, and then the next year do something else. And I certainly know in the GAA, like, they're very welcoming of ladies in all farms, and they they're very happy to have ladies involved and, you know, to share the workload. And the more we have within the committees and the more we have involved, the better it'll be. And I mean, even earlier this year with you know, the 4,000 votes to join, you know, the WGPA and the GPA, like, I mean, it's massive, and I do think it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have to agree with you there. So I suppose you kind of touched on it there, but if you could change one thing about the GA to make it an even better organisation going into the future, what would that be?
Well, what I'd like to see is that those 4,000 that signed that, and they're for the intercounty players. I would love to see that coming down to the club players. You know, because everybody has to start off in the club, and everybody gets their, you know, fundamentals and their initial training and everything in the club, and that's where they, you know, they evolve then to become intercounty players. But I think that if we could have that in every club in the country, and you know, in rural Ireland, and in the, you know, in the towns everywhere, I think it would be great for the GA. I think it would be a great change for the GA, because it just means that everybody's involved and everybody's treated equally. I think, you know, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, so it kind of comes down to the grassroots level and work the way up. What about the Gaelic Games is so special, do you think?
Oh, I just think I think that especially your own club, nobody can buy the pride that you would have in your own club. It's your community. It's from the youngest person to the oldest person in the parish, and everybody knows each other. They go to school together, they grow up together. When they move away from home, and they come back, like even if they're in Australia or anywhere, you always follow your own club, because it's part of you, like it's your identity. And I think that's just the best thing. You don't have it in any other club, and you can't buy it. You know, it's fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's the community spirit that makes the GAA a different altogether in comparison to any other sport. So thanks a million, Rose, for joining us today, and good
No
luck
problem.
on your future endeavours.
All right. Thank you very much, Alanna. Thank you.